Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another weekly roundup. I am Melanie Youngsma, publisher of the Lansing Journal, here again with Josh Bootsma, our managing editor.
Good morning, everybody.
We've had a nice week in Lansing, and we have some, I think, really interesting stories to round up today.
Yeah, as usual, a good variety of different stuff happening this week.
It's great to be part of a community newspaper, isn't it?
It is, yes.
I want to start with a story that Noah Johnson, one of our freelance journalists, wrote about Chris Metzger, who has been a crossing guard in Lansing for 30 years.
30 years.
And I see her every now and then when I'm walking around Lansing, and Noah's story was right on. She's very nice. She's very personable, and even when I stop and talk to her on the corner,
Yeah.
as cars are passing, people are waving at her and shouting greetings, and kids are saying hello, and so it was nice to be able to recognize her 30 years of service.
Yeah.
And it seems like a lot of people are enjoying that story because she's had an impact on so many lives in Lansing.
Yeah, and can you even imagine how many thousands of different kids she has ushered across the street? And some of whom now
Some of them are
adults now and have their own children who are getting crossed by her, which is just it's crazy. 30 years of good work.
Yes.
Really cool. And another story that we covered this week of people in our town doing good things was Corey Zimkowski. You've probably heard her name by now if you are a Lansing Journal subscriber. Corey has been kind of the engineer and the driving force behind a lot of the micro pantries that are around town. Just a couple years ago, there were no micro pantries in Lansing. Mount Zion Ministries started one first, and then Corey Zimkowski has started 3 and I think 4 in Lansing since then. So she has received 2 awards from the Girl Scouts. She's been a Girl Scout since she was in kindergarten. There's a really cute photo in this story that we'll link to below of her as a Girl Scout in kindergarten. She received the Gold Award, which is pretty much the highest award you can receive as a Girl Scout. And according to her mom, no Girl Scout in Lansing has received that award since the 1980s.
Wow.
So that's pretty cool.
Go Corey.
So congrats, Corey. She also won the Pinnacle Award, which is a new award that the Girl Scouts are doing this year. So she's been recognized for her good work, and she certainly deserves it. And Quentin Arthur was able to talk with her and write that story. And in speaking with her, he gathered that she's planning on even opening up some more micro pantries in the area. So she's not stopping here. So congrats, Corey, on your good work, and keep it up.
It's nice to have that kind of people in Lansing, and it's nice to have a newspaper that can report on those kinds of things.
Absolutely.
Next on my list is your story about the country club. So Josh wrote a story when the country club actually closed,
Right.
and of course since then people have been wondering what will happen to that property. Part of it is in Illinois, part of it is in Indiana, and so Josh tracked down somebody who knows the facts about that, and he did a nice job of letting people know what actually is planned. There are some specific plans in place.
Right.
Those are all on the Indiana side.
Right.
As far as the Illinois side, there are some hopes and some possibilities and some ideas, but nothing concrete yet. So if you are curious about what's going on with that country club property, go ahead and read that story. It's getting a lot of views. A lot of people have been interested in that.
Yeah.
And I thought you did a great job of updating people on that.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm grateful that Gary Warfel, who's a developer at the Saxon Partners, who's kind of in charge of the project, he's actually a TF South graduate and grew up in Lansing. So it was good to talk to him. He cares about this community. I also have to thank Mike Ogorek. I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name. Ogorek, I believe, from the Lansing Country Club, who's kind of managing the fishing memberships and has been part of the club for a long time. He was able to put me in contact with Gary, and Mike was able to show me around the country club and get some photos. So thank you, Mike. And yeah, if you want to stay updated, subscribe to the Lansing Journal if you haven't, about what's going on at the Lansing Country Club, because that's a big, beautiful piece of property in our town that we care about.
Yeah, we hope something good comes there.
Absolutely.
What happens with it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have Hispanic Heritage Month as well. In this morning's email, you'll see a story about TF South celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month. They did that just on Thursday. They had some Mexican restaurants in. They had some Mexican music as well that came in. They had the Latin dance crew performed.
So this was all local?
This is all
Local
local.
restaurants?
Yes,
Were the musicians local?
I believe so. One is a current TF South student, one is a TF South grad, and the other is, I believe, a friend of those two. So,
Nice.
yeah, some local music, the Latin dance crew at TF South, and it's the Latin dance crew and the Dreamers Club at TF South that both gathered the money to do this event. And then the food there was, people could go and pay for the food. I would estimate roughly 100 people were there when I was there, and probably more came when I left. K Dulce Cafe was there, who's moving into the pink building
The
on
pink
Ridge
building.
Road. That's right. So people got a kind of a preview of the food that they're going to offer. La Michoacana Campi was there as well. They're on Burnham Avenue, south down by the airport. And then La Soga Taqueria was there as well. And they're down on Burnham Avenue too. So a lot of good stuff. Local people celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month. It was a fun event. And Hispanic Heritage Month goes from September 15 to October 15. So we're right in the middle of it now.
Yeah, and I should say that if any of our Hispanic listeners or Hispanic friends are planning events, Hispanic heritage events, or do your own family celebrations of Hispanic Heritage Month, it is a good way for Hispanics to let other people know about their culture, and so
Yeah.
we appreciate that. But if there are other things you're planning, other events we should know about, we'll put our contact information below. We would love to hear from you and share those with the community. So that's a few highlights from the past week, and let's talk a little bit about some things that are coming up.
Yes.
Saturday, we have two things happening on Saturday. The first event is a blood drive that is happening at Thorn Creek Reformed Church in South Holland.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that started at 7 a.m. and runs till about 2. And I believe if you register ahead of time, you will get a goodie bag while supplies last.
And if you go to the Vitaland website, they have on there really big, blood is needed. So blood is still needed. It was needed at the beginning of the pandemic, and it's still needed now. So yeah, consider donating at the blood drive.
And another thing happening Saturday afternoon is the Chamber of Lansing's Wine Walk.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted to, it's too late for people to register and participate in that, but I just wanted to give a shout out to the Chamber because this is really a nice, interesting, fun way to introduce businesses to people and people to businesses in
Yeah.
Lansing. All the participants who had to pre-register get a list of these businesses and you visit them one by one and you get to taste some wine and you also get to see what that business is all about. And most of those businesses have some giveaways or some information about what they do, some free samples. So it's a lot of fun just to walk up and down Ridge Road and learn about our businesses.
Yeah.
So kudos to the Lansing Area Chamber for putting that together.
So that's, again, this Saturday. Looking forward towards the end of October. There's another story that posted this week about all the fall stuff that's happening at Fox Point, all of the Halloween type activities. And some of that is relevant right now because, as if you might remember, there was a Scarecrow contest last year. The Village is doing that again this year. And the window to pick up your frame to create your Scarecrow ends next Friday. That's October 8th. There are 3 different dates where you can drop off your finished Scarecrow. You can read about those dates. We'll link to the story down below. And then the Village is having a display week, the week before Halloween, where people can vote and judge these Scarecrows, vote for which is their favorite. And then on October 31st, which is a Sunday, they're doing the trick-or-treating at Fox Point as well. Which is fun. There are businesses. Melanie, we were there last year. Lansing Journal had a table handing out candy. So many cute kids dressed up. It was such a fun event. There were a lot of people there. You can look forward to that. Put that on your calendar for the end of October.
And that Scarecrow thing is really fun. People get really creative with that. Families can do it. A lot of businesses did it last year, and so they decorated their Scarecrow kind of themed with their business, and it was really fun to see some of those Scarecrows and how creative these businesses were.
Yeah.
Great way to let people know a little bit about your business in a fun way. And so if you need ideas, if you want to participate but you're not sure how to do this, the story does have some photos
Right.
of last year's Scarecrows.
Yeah.
And it's a fun thing.
It is. I think that about covers us for this week. Thank you for reading our stories. Thank you for watching our videos.
Have a great week, Lansing.